Let me ask you something simple. Why does the price of bread go up when there is enough wheat in the world? Why does rice become unaffordable when the harvest was good this year? Why did food prices hit a record all-time high in 2022 when the actual wheat shortage was less than 1% of the global crop? Less than 1%. That gap between reality and price is not an accident. It is not inflation. It is not just the Ukraine war. It has a name. It has a mechanism, and it has been running quietly for over 2 decades. Today we are going to talk about it. Simply, clearly, with facts. And it brings lots of questions in your mind. This is the algorithm of hunger. To understand what is happening today, we need to go back to the year 2000. In December 2000, the United States government passed a law. It was called the Commodity Futures Modernization Act. Before this law, food commodities like wheat, rice, and corn were traded in markets by 2 types of people: farmers, who grew the food; food companies, who needed to buy it. They traded futures contracts, which is basically an agreement. I will buy your wheat in 6 months at this price. This system made sense. Farmers knew what they would earn. Companies knew what they would pay. Prices stayed relatively stable. Then the 2000 law changed everything. It deregulated commodity trading. It removed the limits on how many contracts a single investor could hold. It opened the food market to banks, hedge funds, Wall Street, people who had nothing to do with food, people who would never grow a single grain of wheat, people who simply wanted to make money from betting on whether food prices go up or down, and they came in enormous numbers. Here is where it gets very specific, very real, very documented. In 1991, Goldman Sachs, one of the most powerful investment banks on earth, created something called the Goldman Sachs Commodity Index. It was a financial product that bundled together the prices of 18 different commodities, including food, wheat, corn, soybeans. And they invited investors to bet on it. Go up, go down, make money either way. For years, this was relatively small. Then, after the 2000 deregulation law, every major bank followed Goldman Sachs. The numbers tell the story clearly. In 2003, investment in commodity index funds, $13 billion. By 2008, that number, $317 billion. That is a 1,900% increase in 5 years. In the first 55 days of 2008 alone, speculators poured $55 billion into food commodity markets. By July 2008, $318 billion was flowing through these markets. This was no longer a food market. This had become a casino, and the chips were bags of rice and wheat. That real people needed to survive. The result of all that money flowing into food markets was catastrophic. Between 2006 and 2008, wheat prices rose 136%, rice prices rose 217%, corn prices rose 125%, soybeans rose 107%. Hard red spring wheat, which normally traded between $4 and $6 per bushel, shot up to $25 per bushel. There was no drought that caused this. There was no crop failure. Supply and demand did not explain these numbers. The New England Complex Systems Institute, a respected research institution, built mathematical models and concluded only speculation, not supply and demand, can explain these price spikes. The consequences for real people were devastating. Food riots broke out in more than 30 countries: Bangladesh, Egypt, Cameroon, Haiti, Philippines, Indonesia. People taking to the streets, not for politics, for food. 250 million people joined the ranks of the hungry in 2008. The total number of food-insecure people on Earth reached 1 billion, a number never seen before in history. 1 billion people, hungry, while traders in Manhattan were making record profits. Now here is where the story moves into our time. into the age of artificial intelligence. What happened in 2008 was bad, but the tools being used then were relatively simple. Human traders, basic computer programs, gut instinct backed by spreadsheets. Today, the tools are incomparably more powerful. Hedge funds now use AI systems that analyze satellite imagery of farmland worldwide, measuring crop health from space before any government or farmer knows the result. Process weather pattern data from thousands of stations, predicting droughts and floods months before they happen. Track shipping routes and cargo movements in real time, knowing where food is going before markets react. Monitor pest migration patterns using AI models, predicting crop damage before it occurs. Companies like Helios AI can now predict the price of over 400 food products, up to 12 months in the future. That prediction is available to whoever pays for it. And the people who pay for it are not farmers. They are not governments trying to feed their people. They are hedge funds and trading firms using that information to place bets on food markets before anyone else knows what is coming. This is not illegal. That is the most disturbing part. This is perfectly legal. We don't need to theorize about this. We watched it happen in 2022. In February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine together supply about 1/3 of the world's wheat exports. A real crisis, a real shortage. Nobody is denying that. But here is the documented fact that Greenpeace's investigative team uncovered. The actual wheat shortfall caused by the invasion was approximately 7 million tons. That is less than 1% of the global crop. Yet wheat futures prices jumped 50% in 1 month. Why? Because hedge funds used trend-following algorithms, AI systems that detect rising prices and automatically buy more futures contracts, which drives prices even higher. The algorithm sees prices rising. It buys. The buying makes prices rise more. More algorithms buy. The cycle feeds itself. The result? In the first 3 months of 2022, a group of hedge funds made estimated profits of $1.9 billion from wheat, corn, and soybean trades. According to the UN Special Rapporteur on the Right to Food, what explains that price is the effect of speculation, the financial markets, the hedge funds, etc. This is not an activist saying this. This is the United Nations. And while those profits were being made, 92% of Ukraine's wheat normally goes to Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, the poorest countries on Earth, the ones least able to absorb price shocks. UN global food prices hit a record all-time high in March 2022. Hunger surged across East Africa, Yemen, Somalia, Afghanistan. The algorithm was profitable. People went hungry. There is another layer to this story, one that is quieter, slower, but perhaps more permanent. While algorithms trade food prices in milliseconds, something else has been happening over years. The world's wealthiest individuals have been quietly buying farmland, enormous amounts of it. Bill Gates is now the largest private owner of farmland in America, 275,000 acres across 19 states, held through more than 20 shell companies. Jeff Bezos owns approximately 420,000 acres of farmland. Gates has stated his reason is agricultural innovation. And perhaps that is true. But consider the pattern. AI systems predicting future crop yields, hedge funds betting on food prices, the world's richest individuals acquiring the land that grows the world's food. And today, 673 million people are hungry. 2.3 billion people are food insecure. That is more than before the COVID pandemic. The food exists. The land exists. The technology to grow more exists. The question is, who controls it? And increasingly, the answer is algorithms and the people who own them. Here are serious economists who argue commodity speculation provides liquidity to markets, making it easier for farmers to sell their futures. The OECD, a major international research body, found that Goldman Sachs commodity index funds did not alone cause the 2008 price bubble. AI in agriculture has also helped predict famines early, giving governments time to respond. Precision agriculture powered by AI has increased crop yields significantly, potentially feeding more people. These are real points. They matter. But here is the core problem. Even if we accept all of this, when a 1% wheat shortage causes a 50% price spike, something in the system is deeply broken. When AI tools that predict food crises are available to hedge funds before governments, the system serves profit before people. And when 2.3 billion people cannot reliably access food, in a world producing enough calories for 10 billion, the problem is not production. The problem is the algorithm that sits between the food and the people who need it. Hunger today isn't about lack of food, it's about a system where food became profit. An algorithm in New York City can trade wheat in milliseconds and raise bread prices in Cairo. They don't see each other, but the impact is real. The hunger is real. With AI, it gets faster, predicting crises, trading ahead, profiting before help arrives. Technology isn't the problem, who it serves is. Right now, it's not the millions going hungry. That has to change. Now you know. Thanks for watching.